Welcome. My name is Lee Thurman here on the Teacher Lee YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in for the final chapter in Mr. Butler's War is a Racket. No need for much of an intro. We'll talk on the other side. So let's go ahead and get into it. Chapter 5 of War is a Racket by Smedley Butler. Chapter 5, To Hell with War. And this chapter begins with a quotation by Thomas Jefferson. If there is one principle more deeply rooted in the mind of every American, it is that we should have nothing to do with conquest. Now on with Butler. I am not a fool as to believe that war is a thing of the past. I know the people do not want war, but there is no use in saying we cannot be pushed into another war. Looking back, Woodrow Wilson was reelected president in 1916 on a platform that he had kept us out of war, and on the implied promise that he would keep us out of war. Yet, 5 months later, he asked Congress to declare war on Germany. In that 5-month interval, the people had not been asked whether they had changed their minds. The 4 million young men who put on uniforms and marched or sailed away were not asked whether they wanted to go forth to suffer and die. Then what caused our government to change its mind so suddenly? Money. It may be recalled that an Allied commission came over shortly before the war declaration and called on the president. The president summoned a group of advisors. The head of the commission spoke. Stripped of its diplomatic language, this is what he told the president and his group. There is no use kidding ourselves any longer. The cause of the Allies is lost. We now owe you, American bankers, American munition makers, American manufacturers, American speculators, and American exporters $5 or $6 billion. If we lose, and without the help of the United States, we must lose, we, England, France, and Italy, cannot pay back this money, and Germany won't. So, had secrecy been outlawed as far as war negotiations were concerned, and had the press been invited to be present at that conference, or had radio been available to broadcast the proceedings, America never would have entered the World War. But this conference, like all war discussions, was shrouded in utmost secrecy. When our boys were sent off to war, they were told it was a war to make the world safe for democracy, and a war to end all wars. Well, 18 years after, the world has less of democracy than it had then. Besides, what business is it of ours, whether Russia or Germany or England or France or Italy or Austria live under democracies or monarchies, whether they are fascist or communist? Our problem is to preserve our own democracy. And very little, if anything, has been accomplished to assure us that the World War was really the war to end all wars. Yes, we have had disarmament conferences and limitations of arms conferences. They don't mean a thing. One has just failed. The results of another have been nullified. We send our professional soldiers and our sailors and our politicians and diplomats to these conferences. And what happens? The professional soldiers and sailors don't want to disarm. No admiral wants to be without a ship. No general wants to be without a command. Both mean men without jobs. They are not for disarmament. They cannot be for limitations of arms. At all these conferences, lurking in the background, but all powerful just the same, are the sinister agents of those who profit by war. They see to it that these conferences do not disarm or seriously limit armaments. The chief aim of any power at any of these conferences has not been to achieve disarmament to prevent war, but rather to get more armament for itself and less for any potential foe. There is only one way to disarm with any semblance of practicality. That is for all nations to get together and scrap every ship, every gun, every rifle, every tank, every warplane. Even this, if it were possible, would not be enough. The next war, according to experts, will be fought not with battleships, not by artillery, not with rifles, and not with machine guns. It will be fought with deadly chemicals and gases. Secretly, each nation is studying and perfecting newer and ghastlier means of annihilating its foes wholesale. Yes, ships will continue to be built, for the shipbuilders must make their profits. And guns still will be manufactured, and powder and rifles will be made, for the munitions makers must make their huge profits. And the soldiers, of course, must wear uniforms, for the manufacturer must make their war profits too. But victory or defeat will be determined by the skill and ingenuity of our scientists. If we put them to work making poison gas and more fiendish mechanical and explosive instruments of destruction, they will have no time for the constructive job of building greater prosperity for all peoples. By putting them to this useful job, we can all make more money out of peace than we can out of war, even the munition makers. So I say, to hell with war. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that shortest of Mr. Butler's chapters there. And congratulations if you stuck with this the whole series. You can consider yourself to have read War is a Racket. To encourage you to go out, pick up a copy, read it yourself. You'd pick up a few more things that I cut out during the abridging process. But if you don't, you can still feel confident telling people you have read or at least listened to War is a Racket by Smedley Butler. Today is July 3rd, 2025. If you're listening to this anywhere close to recording, happy 4th of July. Hope you enjoyed it. Maybe being familiar with Smedley Butler's words, we think about it a little bit differently, perhaps. If you're ever going to donate, now's the time to do it. Appreciate you hanging with me. GoFundMe link is down in the video description. I'll pop up the Venmo QR code here if you want to screenshot that. Donations are greatly appreciated. For now, they'll be going towards a new microphone. Try to improve my audio quality a little bit for future episodes. We'll see. In terms of what's on deck, I think I'm going to plan a somewhat cursory look at the military-industrial complex and what that actually looks like today. Give you some fine details, give you some actual facts, some names, some numbers, and what you can look for in the news that you can point to and be like, war's a racket. Okay, thanks again. I truly appreciate everybody listening. I really do. This has been a lot of fun for me to make this series. Please like it, share it if you feel like it. Subscribe. I'll be putting out some more work in the fairly near future. And take care. Thanks again. And this is the Teacher Lee YouTube channel. Subscribe. Be ready for future videos. Have a good one.